while this preparation has been going on, we've been having the second round of Pro Stock Eliminator. In the factory hot rods in the near lane, it was Lee Shepard driving for the team of Rare and Morrison. Gordie Rivera in the far lane, and Rivera pulled off the upset. Mechanical troubles slowed Shepard, and Rivera a happy man as he won.
Gordie Rivera, Yuma, Arizona. Like any drag racer who's ever beaten Lee Shepard, he is very excited about it.
I like that one.
I bet you did. What happened on the starting line up there?
I was super ready. I figured another one.
You know, so many drivers red light against Shepard and really give away their chance on the starting line.
I've done that once this year. I said I wasn't going to do it no more. I waited for that yellow and I left.
I tell you, it's good to see a new face down here in the Pro Stock standings, and a beautiful job with a beautiful car, Gordie.
Thank you. Thank you.
We then watch the classic Ford versus Chevrolet battle. In the near lane, it is Bob Glidden, the hometown favorite, driving his Ford Thunderbird against New Jersey's Frank Iaconio, driving his Chevrolet Camaro. Both cars left the starting line with the wheels in the air as the power was applied down the quarter-mile racetrack. At the finish line, it was the Ford Thunderbird just eking out a win by half a car length.
These guys are outgunned, I'm telling you, we're going to have to make some changes. We need to run a little better than we've run. We need to run a middle 60.
A funny car driver, top fuel, they can put in more nitro or drive the blower harder. What does a Pro Stock guy do to whittle off a few hundreds?
We'll probably change engines between this round and the next.
Our next pair of cars saw the Oldsmobile of Warren Johnson in the near lane racing against the Pontiac Firebird of Ronnie Manchester. The two cars came off the starting line relatively even, but it was not long before the power of the Oldsmobile took over, and by several car lengths, it was Warren Johnson taking the second round win over Ronnie Manchester. Our final pair in round number 2 of Pro Stock Racing found Joe Lepone Jr. driving the Pontiac in the near lane against the bright red Camaro owned by Bob Piniella and driven by the veteran Ken Dondero. Dondero had the slight advantage off the starting line. He held the lead at this point, but the power of Joe Lepone's car almost pulled out a win. Oh, so close at the finish. Look at the times. 7.79 for Lepone. Dondero at 7.82. The advantage off the starting line paid off. There's our semifinalists. Ken Dondero against Bob Glidden. Gordie Rivera against Warren Johnson. It is Johnson, number 4 in the world last year, driving the Oldsmobile Cutlass. Gordie Rivera at the wheel of his Chevrolet Camaro. These cars use engines up to 500 cubic inches in displacement, run on racing gasoline, are limited to 2 4-barrel carburetors, and must weigh no less than 2,350 pounds with the driver. Very evenly matched. The Oldsmobile in the far lane, the Chevrolet in the near lane. The factory hot rods of championship drag racing's Pro Stock Eliminator. The power of Johnson's Oldsmobile proves out to be the winner at 7.64 seconds at a speed of over 181 miles an hour. So Warren Johnson of Duluth, Georgia, advances into the finals of the 30th annual U.S. Nationals. Here is the Ford Thunderbird of Bob Glidden, using a 500 cubic inch shotgun Ford engine, a race motor designed and developed by Ford. Against him, Ken Dondero driving Bob Piniella's car, this with the big block 500 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. The fans love it when the Ford versus Chevrolet battle matches up on the starting line. The teaming of Ken Dondero and Bob Piniella is a rematch of a driver-owner team that dated back over a decade in drag racing. The Ford of Glidden in the far lane, Ken Dondero in the near lane. Together they leave the starting line. It is Dondero and Glidden side by side, and at the finish line, it is by a half a car length Bob Glidden, 7.72 at a speed of over 178 miles an hour. As we watch again, you see the two cars almost as one, clawing into the air, the front wheels off the pavement, the rear tires trying to get a hold of the pavement, pulling the cars ahead, headed for that finish line 1,320 feet away. As they reach the speed traps at the finish line, Glidden begins to pull ahead and by a half a car length takes the win. That sets up the finals in Pro Stock. Bob Glidden against Warren Johnson. There's